And let's go live now to Charles Kupchan. He's the professor at Georgetown University and a senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations. Thanks for your time. Now, we had a few admissions now from Vladimir Putin that the war really isn't going to plan. And then we had Zelensky's visit to the front lines today. He's there to rally the troops. Do you think that was also a bit of a message of defiance to Putin?
I do. I mean, Mr. Zelenskyy has been a remarkable leader since this conflict began, not just in terms of the fight, getting Ukrainians to get to the battlefield, but in rallying the world. And I think one of his most effective outreach is by going to the front line, by putting himself in harm's way, by saying, I will run risks alongside my countrymen. And now it looks like he'll be leaving Ukraine for the first time since the war began. And that does entail a certain risk, but he's clearly going to take security precautions. And as your correspondent just said, it's a well-timed visit to the United States, assuming it takes place, because Congress is about to change hands. Republicans are not as enthusiastic as Democrats when it comes to assistance to Ukraine. So this really does look like a visit that's timed to say to this new Congress, we're winning. We want to ensure that you continue to support us.
And can you foresee that, Zelensky's visit there would have some favourable outcomes for Ukraine that could turn the tide or help them on the front lines there?
I think that the situation on the ground continues to tilt in Ukraine's favor. Three main lines of offensive action have succeeded in taking back about half the territory that Ukraine lost since the invasion in February. I would keep a close eye on the situation in the south. Does Ukraine attempt to advance into Zaporizhia and into Kherson provinces to try to cut off access routes to Crimea? And so far, the international community, the G7 nations, NATO, they have said we will continue to support Ukraine for as long as it takes. Now, we do have to look down the road and ask about the impact of more refugees in Europe, the impact of potential gas shortages during the cold weather, the continuing political effects of high rates of inflation in the United States and in Europe. They could potentially weaken the solidarity that the West has shown. But so far, that solidarity has remained strong. And I think one of the things that Mr. Zelenskyy will be doing in Washington is to make sure that he has behind him congressional solidarity, strong backing on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, definitely stakeholders all over the world when it comes to this conflict. Thank you so much for your time and analysis. That's Charles Kupchan. He's a professor at Georgetown University. Thank you.